The state championship high school basketball tournament on the Ohio High School Athletic Association radio network. Let's head courtside for all of the live play-by-play action.
From the Jerome T. Schottenstein Center on the campus of The Ohio State University, it is our Division IV state semifinals on the OHSAA radio network. Game 2 today has the number 2 Hiland Hawks out of Berlin, Ohio with a record of 25-1, and the Red Devils of Arlington High School a record of 23-3. Hi again, everybody. Alongside Dave Cicutti, this is Todd Bell. One final is already in the book as this morning Jackson Center defeated Afrocentric 53-50 in a fantastic finish, Dave, and a great way to start off our tournament this morning.
Well, that's exactly what you would expect in a state semifinal game, and we were fortunate to call that game, partner. And you got to give Jackson Center a lot of credit. They came through when it really counted, and that was down the stretch.
Interesting matchup here. Hiland and Arlington, their girls teams met for a state championship last week. They'll play to get into a state championship game here today. Two very similar teams.
Well, I like the matchups. I think if on paper, if you look at Berlin Hiland, you're probably going to look at a couple of their 6-7 seniors and think it might be a mismatch for some of the Red Devils. But I just like the matchups. I like the way it's going to play out. I'm sure we're going to see some zone defense as well. But from a man-to-man standpoint, I like what I see, but we'll see after this game unfolds.
Division III coming up later tonight at 5:15 and 8:30. We're with you all weekend long here on the OHSAA Radio Network. We'll come back. We'll dive into these two teams. We'll begin with the Red Devils of Arlington when we come back after this timeout on the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
I'm Professor Burke from the University of Farmers, where agents' intellects are focused like laser beams, and this is a pop quiz. True or false? There is no reward for turning 50. The Big 5-0. False. By sitting down with a Farmers agent, you can get access to the Farmers 50-plus discount and many others that could save you hundreds on your home insurance. But other than that, it's mostly just slippers and bingo.
We are insurance.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Call a Farmers agent to discuss tailoring a policy for your home. Find your local agent at farmers.com.
Proud to stand on our own. Proud to be homegrown. A familiar face and a name you know. Come on. We know you, we know your needs. We know what being a neighbor means. Can you hear it? Fueling the American spirit. No matter when, no matter where, Marathon will take you there.
Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Sports fans, did you know that low-fat chocolate milk is the perfect way to fuel up for any kind of fun and games? Chocolate milk is the official beverage of the Ohio High School Athletic Association because eating healthy foods like low-fat chocolate milk and staying active will help you feel your best and keep you at the top of your game. Be sure to fuel up with chocolate milk because it tastes great and provides the same 9 essential nutrients found in white milk. Visit drink-milk.com to get facts on chocolate milk.
This is Dr. Dan Ross, Commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and you're listening to the OHSAA Radio Network.
The OHSAA Radio Network would like to welcome those listening around the state and around the world on our great affiliates. That include Findlay's WFIN 1330 AM, Paynesville's WABQ 1460 AM, and also Cleveland's WKNR 850 AM, and our online affiliates at jjhuddle.com, Ottawa's WZOQ, Washington Courthouse's WCHO, Chillicothe's WBEX and WKKJ, and RadioNorthCoast.com. We welcome all of you listening, no matter where you are, for our second Division IV state semifinal game between Hiland and Arlington. The Red Devils are 23-3. They've won 10 in a row coming into today's action, and they are led by a second-team All-Ohioan in Thane Recker. And he's 6'4", and he's a senior, and he looks every bit of that, if not more. This is a thick individual.
Well, Recker, he's a strong inside, outside type of player, partner, but the one thing that I think he's probably going to have to do today is mix it up a little bit. He's going to have some variety in his game offensively, but I think he's used to it. He's getting 17 points per game, 9 rebounds a game. He looks like on a stat page that he's a darn good player, and I know he is.
A starting lineup, Dave, that's laden with seniors. There are 4 of them in the lineup. They do have the one sophomore that's out there at the guard position, and they've got another couple of seniors we'll see perhaps throughout the day, but there's a veteran-type group that's gotten here for the first time.
Well, they have a nice blend in terms of what they try to do offensively. Besides Wrecker on the inside, their perimeter players, in terms of what they want to do offensively, they love to get it to the basket. They're slashing type drivers. They draw a lot of defensive help in their half-court offense, and that leaves Wrecker kind of floating around a little bit, either on the inside or stepping outside.
This is a team out of the Blanchard Valley Conference. They had one conference loss by 1 point to Van Loo, 51-50. Their other losses were way early in the season to Columbus Grove and to Ada, but their girls team came here last week, Dave, and won a state championship. It was the first team in any sport or individual from Arlington to get to state. The boys followed up. Is there pressure in trying to answer what the girls did last week?
Well, I think there's always expectations when your girls program has taken it to that level. But I think more importantly, if you talk to Jason Vermillion, the head basketball coach for the Red Devils, he's going to talk about senior accomplishments. He wants these seniors, as much as they've accomplished thus far, he wants them to go out with one more step, hopefully 2 more steps here in the state championship.
The Hiland Hawks are no strangers to get into Columbus, or at the very least making deep tournament runs. This is a tradition-laden program. They've made 9 state tournament appearances. They were here in 2000 and then most recently in 07. Last year, winning a state championship, trying to make it back-to-back. So a lot of experience here for Hiland.
Well, Coach Laibach's done a great job with this program in his 7th year. His records speak for themselves, but he has put together, as you mentioned, quite a few seniors. One of them, of course, had a knee injury early in the preseason and never got to play this year, but he counts on him as part of it as well. When I listen to Coach Laibach, he talks about big and slow. I'm going to probably counter that, hopefully during the course of this game, and talk about big and strong. He's got some men in his lineup. They're strong, they're physical, they love to bang it around on the inside.
And they're kind of led by Seeger Bonifit, 6'7" senior, 15 points per game, a second-team All-Ohioan. Dylan Kaufman's had a great year for them as well, the co-Division IV Player of the Year.
Well, the one thing, if you look at their personnel, the one thing I'll look for defensively is they have one player in there, Neil Ginrich, who's a shot blocker. He can alter offenses in terms of what they want to do. If he's in there and he doesn't get himself in foul trouble, he can become a big factor in this basketball game.
2 teams that average in the mid to lower 60s. Both of them give up 40 points per ball game. There's so many similarities between these 2 teams.
I'm going to have a hard time figuring out who's going to score here if both of them are only giving up 40 points. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a chess match to see who can execute better offensively. But as you well know, partner, when you get to this point of your season, you got to find and manufacture ways to score points. And I'm sure both these coaches are well prepared to do that.
And when you play a lot of defense, there's a lot of energy involved. We'll see if these teams feed off of that energy here today.
Yeah, and there's a lot. This will be a good environment. It always is here. And both these teams, of course, one of them has some experience being here. They may be a little more settled in early. The Arlington Red Devils, first chance to be on this big stage. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it right from the start.
Winner will play Jackson Center in the state championship game Saturday morning at 10:30 here at Value City Arena. Let's listen in now as we have today's national anthem. From Arlington High School with our national anthem. We'll take a break for our local stations. We'll be back with the keys to today's game and the starting lineups of our second Division IV semifinal after this on the OHSA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
Bill Hoskett, Ohio State basketball All-American, NBA champion, and Olympic gold medalist on student athletes.
Studies show that students who play school sports tend to have better attendance records, higher grade point averages, fewer discipline problems, and are more likely to pursue a college education. High school sports also teach leadership, character, and provide the foundation for becoming a good citizen. Let's respect the game and remember to always keep student first in student athlete.
A message from the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
The Ohio High School Athletic Association licenses over 16,000 officials in 16 different sports.
OHSAA officials are parents, teachers, police officers, firefighters, homemakers, engineers, and bus drivers.
Officiating gives us a chance to give back and support kids across the state of Ohio.
It's a tough job, but we love what we do.
Jessica Gerber. Todd Bell, Dave Cicutti with you courtside at Value City Arena. Second Division 4 state semifinal coming up between Hiland and Arlington. And let's check in with Dave and his keys to the game. And let's start off first with the visitors today, the Arlington Red Devils.
Well, I think two things when you think of Arlington. I think number one is being maybe the first time in this type of environment, stay focused. Don't lose your composure. Come out of it with a lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline, but keep your composure. I think the other thing that they have to concentrate on is trying to find a way to score points. You're going to get good play out of Thane Record. It's going to be up to a couple other players in this lineup to get additional points out of that production.
For the Hiland Hawks, just one loss on the season that came to a pretty good Division I school in Canton Glen Oak in their 19th game of the season. I know you and I, we do a ton of games together. You talked about this team a long time ago. I know you like them. What about their keys today?
Well, if you talk to coaches here around the state of Ohio, they always talk about the Hiland Hawks and their defense, but they're going to be tested today trying to keep under control some of the penetrating drivers that Arlington will throw at them. The other thing when you talk to coaches, they talk about Hiland as an excellent passing type of team. I think that's going to be very, very important for today, but just maybe get the ball inside and then maybe look outside, maybe the first priority, just to make sure they get some touches on the inside of the paint.
All right, we're closing in on the start. Starting lineups are coming up, but let's allow our stations that are following us along today on the OHSA Radio Network a chance to identify themselves here on the OHSA Radio Network that is brought to you by Chocolate Milk. For Arlington, time now for the starting lineups of our second Division 4 state semifinal. And first off, for the Arlington Red Devils, they will look like this today. 5'11" senior Wes Corbin, averaging 8.2 points and 3.1 assists. Jake Leonard, a 6'1" senior, averaging 11.2 points, 4.5 rebounds a game. Sophomore Andrew Hunter at 5'8", 8.8 points a game, 3.6 assists. Adam Inninger, a 5'9" senior, averaging 4 points per game. And Thane Recker at 6'4" and a senior, second team All-Ohio in 17 points, 9.2 rebounds a game. For the Hawks of Hiland, they will start like this. A senior Chase Gerber, averaging 4.6 points, 2.4 assists a game. Seeger Bonifant, a 6'7" senior at 15.2, 3.9 rebounds, 3.4 assists. Jason Miller, a 5'11" senior, averaging 6.8 points and 4.6 assists per game. Dylan Kaufman, co-Division 4 Player of the Year at 6'5" and a senior, averaging 17.5 points and 6 rebounds a game. And Neil Gingerich, a 6'7" senior, averaging 10 points and 6.2 rebounds. The head coaches for Arlington in his 14th season is Jason Vermillion with a record of 213 and 97. And Mark Schleybaugh, co-coach of the year in Division 4, 7th season here with the Hawks with a record of 149 and 20. Again, Arlington 23-3, winners of their last 10 and 19 of their last 20. Hiland 25-1, 7 in a row. They have won, and again, coming off of a state championship a season ago, they defeated Continental 70-56 in the semis, Harvest Prep 63-48 in the second game. They've won 14 straight postseason games alone, has the Hiland Hawks.
Well, when you think about trying to repeat as a state champion, that is so difficult to do. Of course, they did it. They won it back last year, 2011. And boy, they've made a good stretch one. You mentioned, Todd, they've only lost that one game to Canton Glen Oak. They've played some good competition, but it'll be interesting to see if that competition, in terms of how they played those games, is going to carry over into these two games here coming up.
Rodney Nichols from Hillsboro, Ryan Dotson from Winchester, and John DeRoe from Wellston, Ohio are the trio of officials that will handle today's game. Kurt Schuley from Hilliard is our alternate official today. Arlington, again, the visitors in the traveling red uniforms, black numerals and lettering trimmed in white. Thane Recker to jump for the Red Devils. For Hiland, it'll be Dylan Kaufman, as the Hawks are in the home whites with the black numerals and lettering trimmed in red with black and red striping down the side. Kaufman won the opening tip in the backcourt, and Hiland going left to right will have the opening possession of the game. Gingrich backing in on Recker down low, turns with a right-handed baby hook. It's off the mark, and the rebound will come off quickly for Arlington. Pushing it up the floor is Jake Leonard. Gets it back in the wing, top side for Hunter. Hunter now will go into the right wing for Enninger. Enninger back top side for Wes Corbin. Right now, everything on the perimeter early on for the Red Devils. Coming left with the basketball, Andrew Hunter hits Thane Recker at the foul line. Recker, a couple of dribbles out on top. He'll be guarded early, at least by Gingrich. They come back out on top for Andrew Hunter. Hunter, sophomore, will penetrate, hands it off in the wing to Corbin, into the lane, kicks it back out to the wing, and a three by Andrew Hunter is good.
Good patience offensively. Everybody got a chance to touch the ball. Great start for Arlington.
Out of the left side, Dylan Kaufman lost the dribble as he fumbled it around but got it back. Gives it to Gingrich down in the corner. Now they will post up here low on the left for Seeger Bonifant. Now it is Gingrich backing in, got all the way to the left block. Nice little drop step as he spun by Recker and laid it in.
Well, offensively, first two possessions, that young man has had his hands on the ball. First time he didn't get the good score, that time he made it happen.
There's just a lot of size out there for Hiland at 6'5", and then two at 6'7". In the left wing, it's Wes Corbin. Corbin will come back left side. Enninger inside to Recker, just backing his way. Gingrich blocked his shot, and Bonifant's got the rebound for the Hawks. They trail 3-2. 6:15 to play here in the first quarter. A three by Kaufman in the right wing is short, and the rebound will come off for Jake Leonard. He'll push it for Arlington right to left. Keeps the dribble alive all the way down towards the right baseline. Picks it up on the sideline. Now they swing it around the perimeter, and they hit Corbin. Back out on top now for Hunter. Hunter to Recker, will step out away from the basket. Now we'll set a screen. Ball kicked out of bounds by Hiland. It'll stay here with Arlington.
Well, we talked about defensively what Hiland gives you, and they give you that size inside. Gingrich, of course, is a good shot blocker, but they're strong, they're physical. You got to make sure if you're Arlington, you get some good penetration, try to draw some help, get them out of position if you can.
Hunter will take it into the wing, hand to Enninger. He'll now hand it off to Corbin. A little three-man game working out on top. Jake Leonard just hanging around, catches the ball, dribbles up to the three-point line, hit it off the glass, and it's no good. Recker an offensive rebound. Enninger now will dribble into the paint, had it stripped away by Bonifant, and he's got the steal. Up the floor to Kaufman, left side, and on his way to the basket as Gingrich got spun around and fouled, and two free throws are coming up for Neil Gingrich.
Well, one of the priorities for Hiland is to push the ball up the floor, try to get those 3-on-2, 2-on-1 situations. Their size and their speed in the open court could play a big factor in this basketball game.
Neil Gingrich, just a 42% free throw shooter. And they will knock down the first one, and that will tie the game at 3. And we see our first Hiland sub of the ball game is Todd Ropp, a 6'1" sophomore, will come into the game for the Hawks. First tie of the game at 3. Second free throw is also good. So Hiland will grab their first lead of the game as Gingrich has all 4 of the Hawks points. And it'll be Arlington basketball in the backcourt as Hunter will bring it up across the time stripe. Andrew coming left with the dribble, takes it into the wing. Out on top for Eniger. Bouncing it low on the right for Thane Recker. Turns to the basket. They triple team him. Kicks it right back out on top to Corbin. Now down in the corner, it's Jake Leonard. Leonard had it poked away, got it back. Keeps the dribble alive, and now we'll flip it back out on top for Andrew Hunter. To the top of the key to the foul line. Scoops it with a right hand off the mark. Rebound went past Recker into the hands of Gingrich, who fired it right past Kaufman and out of bounds.
Yeah, just a misplay there in terms of trying to force the ball up the floor. But you mentioned it there, partner. Thane Recker's going to draw a lot of attention. They're going to double and triple team him, at least initially here, just to see how he's going to react here offensively for Arlington.
5'9" sophomore Jordan Freed have checked into the game for Arlington as Recker gets his first shot away down low on the left on the baseline and scores. And that will put Arlington back in front. 5-3. Bonifant low on the left. Back it in here against Leonard. Puts it up across the rim, no. Tip up by Kaufman on the weak side is no good. And Recker comes down with a rebound. Quick outlet by Hunter down the floor to Freed. Back out on top for Hunter. Now on the left point, it's Leonard. Corbin inside Recker. Got pretty deep. Did he get too far underneath? He might have, as Bonifant, or beg your pardon, Gingrich blocked his shot from behind. Now spinning around with the basketball for the Hawks was Jason Miller. Now they work it inside, and another bucket for Hiland.
Good penetration to the baseline. Getting some good looks, Hiland. Recker at the other end here has to make sure, even though he's a good strong 6'4", he's playing against 6'7" players. He's going to have to find a way to score.
Leonard will take it all the way to the left baseline. Skips it along the baseline. It went off the leg of Freed and out of bounds. So a turnover for Arlington as the Hawks will come back with Chase Gerber, a starter. And on the other side, Michael Blanc, 6'3" sophomore, will come in, but another kind of a thicker body here for Arlington inside.
Well, one thing they'll try to do offensively, I'm speaking of Arlington right now, they will push it at you. They'll do a little secondary break in their transition, trying to get a quick score. If not, they'll try to break it down and get into that half-court offense.
3:40 to play here in the opening quarter, and Thane Recker out on top comes up with a steal. Then we're going to have a foul on the other end on Todd Ropp, and boy, I think the officials are going to talk it over. This might be intentional if they talk things over. I saw no play for the ball by Ropp and more of a bear hug than anything. And it looks like it's just going to be 2 free throws. Yeah, one last little conference by the trio of officials. And I still think it's just going to end up being a common foul. I think he got the wrong body. No, that was not on Gerber.
No.
That was on Ropp. They may change that at the table.
That was a good steal by Thane Recker. He gets in the passing lane and pushed it up hard. You can only say it's a good foul. And like you said, that was a pretty hard foul, but Thane Recker took that beating like nothing ever bumped him off there. That was it just tells you how strong that young man is.
67% free throw shooter, and he'll swish home the first one. And back into the Hiland lineup will be Dylan Kaufman, and sitting down will be Bonifant. Game tied at 6. Winner will play Jackson Center Saturday morning, who rallied from 15 down to win. Recker gets them both. Arlington back in front. 3:35 to play here in the opening quarter. Miller will come off to the right side for Gerber. Swinging around to Ropp, to Miller, inside. Gingrich backing in here against Blanc. Shot is up and in. That's a pretty good move by Neil Gingrich. Off to a good start.
Well, just tough matchups for Arlington in terms of on the inside. You have 6'1", 6'2", guarding 6'7". Sometimes that's just not going to work.
And a poor pass out on top, stolen away by Ropp, but good defense by Leonard. Took it back away, fires it up the floor to Recker. Good 1-2 head fakes. Fired it across the rim. Rebound lost out of bounds by Hiland. It'll stay with Arlington. And Seeger Bonifant will check back in for Hiland. Coach Schleybaugh, maybe not a lot of players, but he's rotating the guys that he is going to use pretty frequently here.
I think you'll see that. I think, again, he's been here. They understand, and sometimes you got some anxious players. Breathing becomes even difficult in games like this at the start. So just trying to get some guys a quick blow, get them right back in the game.
Cameron Miller now will check in, replace Ropp. So that's a sub for a sub. Miller is a senior. 3:03 to play here in the first quarter, and Hiland on top 8-7 out of an inbounds play. They get Blanc down low, missed it, got it back, then got fouled as Jason Miller reached right in and stripped Blanc. And Michael Blanc, a sophomore, will go to the foul line.
you know, as you prepare for games like this, sometimes you have to find little things that you might find a way to score. And we had that happen in our first contest earlier. But you're trying to execute your out-of-bounds plays because you know how tough it is in the half court to score. If you can get something on special situations, you try to go for it. This time they get some free throws.
And Blunk, just a 49% free throw shooter, will get the first. And Neil Gingrich is back into the game, and sitting down is Miller, so they go 6-7 for 5-11 in the sub right there. They've got all three of the big fellows out there together again in Bonifant, Kaufman, and Gingrich. And Michael Blunk will step back up to the line after tying it at 8. And this one rolls off the rim. Good block out by Hiland, and Gingrich will pull down the rebound for the Hawks. So we'll remain tied at 8. Clock down to 2:50 to play in the opening quarter. Kaufman out on top, guarded by Leonard. Stops inside the three-point arc. They swing it around into the left-hand corner for Bonifant. Out on the top for Gerber. Gerber now back left side for Gingrich. Picked up there by Blunk. Looks to take him off the dribble. Skips the pass across to Gerber. Chase Gerber out beyond the three-point arc. Top side, they go to Bonifant. Cross-court pass going to be stolen away. And Drew Hunter's got it ahead of everybody and will lay it in.
Second time that's happened. Arlington sees something in their defense that they can anticipate those passes and get in the passing lane. Rector got one. That time they got the score there off one.
Gingrich posting up. Great over-the-shoulder pass to Cameron Miller, but he missed underneath. And the rebound will come off for Michael Blunk. 10-8, Arlington on top as we are down to 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Quite a different feel to the first quarter of this game than we had last game, as a three out on top by Hunter is no good, and Gerber has the rebound. Leonard pokes it away. Gerber sliding along the floor, fires it. It's then tipped and stolen away by Jordan Freed. Arlington on the possession. Boy, we've got great hustle here in the first quarter, and we're going to get a timeout used by Jake Leonard. He got himself into a corner.
Well, a good decision to call the timeout. Bad decision to put yourself in that spot, but a good possession there to come up with the ball. Good scrappy offense, defense by both these ball clubs.
Fans, today's game is brought to you by Chocolate Milk. Refuel with Chocolate Milk. Farmers Insurance, because ready feels good. East Bay, the athletic sports source. Sports Time Ohio, fans for life. Marathon Oil, fueling the American spirit. Time Warner Cable, the power of you. And by Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And we'd like to thank all of those sponsors for helping us bring you the broadcast of the OHSA Radio Network, which is also broadcasted. The boys had the girls state tournament last week. We'll have the baseball state tournament on May 31st, June 1st, and 2nd live from Huntington Park in downtown Columbus. Todd Bell, Dave Cicutti with you. Late first quarter, 1:39 to play, and it's 10-8 in favor of Arlington right now.
Well, it's obvious that Arlington has gotten to this point with their basketball season because of great effort, great hustle. All teams have that, but right now Arlington is just trying to find a way to get on the floor for loose balls, run through the passing lanes, come up with loose balls. That's what they're all about right now.
Wes Corbin out on top. Throws it right side for Recker. Gets underneath. Tries a reverse layup over Gingrich and scores. Thayner Recker with 6 in the first quarter. And it's a 4-point lead for Arlington. Bonifant gets it out on top. Now Dylan Kaufman will control the basketball here for Hiland. Jason Miller will go out on top now. You get it back to Kaufman. Top of the key. Left for Gingrich. Inside, they get Miller, make it Gerber free on a great backdoor cut. It's 12-10 Arlington.
And a good look from Neil Gingrich right to him, right underneath the basket. Kept his eyes up, focused, made a good delivery.
And Gingrich offensively playing well. He's rebounding. He's had a great first quarter here for him. He's got 6 points as well. Down on the right baseline, Leonard tries to back in. Gingrich might have blocked that shot. Leonard got it back. Will dribble it into the corner, then just spots up for a three. Hits the front of the rim. Weak side rebound will come off for Blaze McBride, who just checked in for Arlington. Last 30 seconds of the first quarter.
You find a way to get extra possessions in games like this. That time it was an offensive rebound, a good hustle by the Red Devils.
And I would assume that Arlington will hold for the last shot now with 15 seconds to go. Leonard's got it out on top. Will turn in hand to Corbin. Wes Corbin with 10. Coming left now. Past Recker. Keeps the dribble alive to the foul line. Dumps it low on the left to Blunk. Crashing to the basket. Reverse layup up and in. Blunk gets the field goal. Long shot by Kaufman will end the first quarter of action. The Arlington Red Devils lead Hiland 14-10 after one period of play in a Division IV state semifinal. We'll pause for these messages from our local stations. Back after this timeout on the OHSA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
College football's only two-time Heisman Trophy winner, Ohio State's Archie Griffin, on sportsmanship.
Interscholastic athletics are about much more than wins and losses and the thrill of competition. They're about sportsmanship, representing your school, and setting the foundation for a lifetime of success. Participation in junior high and high school sports is a privilege, not a right, and the member schools of the Ohio High School Athletic Association follow a higher set of standards than non-school teams. Remember that when we talk about student athletes, the word student comes first for a reason.
A message from the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. And at the end of the day, the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be you. So United Way is asking you to make a pledge. Tutor a child who needs help. Mentor a kid who needs someone on their side. Volunteer to read to children. Because when a child advances, we all advance. Be a reader, tutor or mentor, give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge now at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Arlington just 5 of 14 shooting here in the opening quarter of action, but for Hiland, they committed 5 turnovers, Dave, and 9 points off turnovers for Arlington. They've got a 14-10 first quarter lead.
Well, when you play defense like they do and you run through passes, you're going to get those opportunities to score.
And Andrew Hunter off to a good start with a good little shot inside the lane. He's got 7, and it's now a 16-10 lead in favor of Arlington. Inside they go to Seeger Bonifant. Fakes one way, fades the other. Air mails the short shot. Rebound Leonard. Saved it into Thane Recker. Here come the Red Devils right to left. Pushing the ball up the floor, Wes Corbin. He'll go to Leonard in the right wing. Back out on top for Corbin. Left side now for Hunter. Hunter out on top for Jake Leonard. Now to Recker. Right now, everybody outside the three-point arc here on this offensive set.
Well, you're going to stretch them out a little bit. They got good drivers, and of course, we talked about Recker. He has the ability to step out as well. He'll set some ball screens and repost at times as well.
Pass deflected out of bounds. It'll stay here with Arlington. Rebounding at the end of one, 10-5 in favor of the Red Devils. They had just 3 turnovers in that first quarter. I mean, this is a Hiland team that averages 9 turnovers a game. They had 5 in the first quarter.
Well, you would have thought, and we talked about it, that they would be the team that would be more settled in terms of what they needed to do. But, you know, we talk about it. You get to this type of environment, you don't know how your players are going to react. I mean, as we talk to coaches, they have a tough time sleeping and eating during the week. You can't expect the players to feel any different.
8-2 run right now by Arlington to take this 16-10 advantage as Andrew Hunter, whose sister Jessica last week won a state title with the girls team, just got fouled in the right wing. There are a couple on this team, including Thane Recker. What an interesting family of quadruplets, and the 3 girls all on the team. 2 of them, Olivia and Amelia, had the bigger hand in things. Anessa also a 3rd member on the team. But you've got Recker, 2nd team All-Ohioan, and his sister Amelia was the co-Division IV Player of the Year.
You think there's any pressure on this young man here to perform well here and go home with at least a state championship?
How about Arlington right now, pulling the ball way out away from the basket?
Well, the thing is, if Hiland continues to come out, though, we talked about the driving ability and the penetration that Arlington gives you. You come out too far, they got the quickness to try to get to the basket, but they'll be happy to milk this lead a little bit.
Here's a little short shot in the lane by Corbin. Got a great look, but it fell off the rim. And back the other way comes Jason Miller. Down to the left baseline for Kaufman, who's been unable to really get on track so far. They swing it out to Bonifant. He'll bury a 3 out there in the right wing.
Well, that's his game. He loves to float around that 3-point range area. That time they delivered a good pass and a good look for that young man.
That's his 51st 3 of the season. Gives him 5 on the day. Lead cut in half. 16-13. Arlington with a basketball. Just under 6 minutes to play in our second quarter. Andrew Hunter out here in the left wing. Dribbles towards the top of the key, spins to the lane. Now hands it off to Corbin. Corbin to Recker, top of the key to the foul line, and he traveled. He got into the air, was going to make a pass into the wing, got bumped, then made the pass as he landed back on the floor.
Well, that's a good call by the official there. And again, being a little quick, good thought, good activity with the ball, but you just got to make sure. He's probably lucky at that point that they called travel and not got him for the charge.
Dylan Kaufman will walk the ball up the floor. 6'5" senior, scoreless so far in this first half. They find Bonifit low on the right. Great drop step, and there was nothing that Jake Leonard could do but foul him on his way to the basket. That was quick.
And that's that mismatch we talked about with Jake Leonard, the size versus a 6'5", 6'6" player. But Arlington, give them credit. They're sticking with this man-to-man defense, and they're going to try to just balance it out that way at this end of the floor.
Seeger Bonifit was their hero in their Division IV semifinals and final wins a year ago as he gets the first free throw. Davey had 23 in the semis, 21 in the finals a year ago.
Well, he hit the big shot in that win over Richmond Heights with .04 seconds to go to give him that 41-40 win. He loves to have the ball in his hands when it's on the line. We'll see as this game unfolds. Is he the guy they go to down the stretch as well?
Made both free throws, 7 in the game. It's a 1-point Arlington lead now at 16-15 inside Corbin. Had his shot altered, if not blocked by Gingrich that time. Here come the Hawks with a chance to regain the lead. Kaufman in the open floor foul line jumper. Rattled out on him. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Gerber, and it'll be Arlington basketball. First time that Kaufman's really been able to get out of the open floor that time, and pretty good runner from the foul line.
And I think that's a big piece of their offensive weaponry is try to get the ball up the court, open space, create for themselves off the dribble, get good looks like the last one they got.
Here's Thane Recker, right side of the lane, cross-court pass, Inniger, 3 in the left wing is an air ball. Rebound will be tracked down by Kaufman, head up, fires it to Gerber, down the left sideline. Gingrich the foul line, now we'll back it up into the wing. The groans you here, they thought that was a walk. On the way to the basket now, Seeger Bonifit turns, kicks it down to the right-hand side for Robb. Now back to Bonifit. Step back to the foul line. Back into the corner for Kaufman. In and out of traffic to the glass. Laid it in. First 2 of the day for Dylan Kaufman.
Well, the Finley recruit, that's what he does best. He gets along the baseline, good body control, good slide to avoid the charge and the basket.
And for those who know Findlay Oiler basketball, Division II, he will fit their system perfectly. Here's a turnover and a steal, and Kaufman ahead of everybody will put it up and in. Dylan Kaufman, back-to-back baskets, and all of a sudden, it's a 9-0 run by the Hiland Hawks. 19-16. Out on the right side, Thane Recker spins around, squares to the hoop, hands to Inniger out on top. Back over to Recker. He'll spot up for the 3. Off the mark. Rebound will come down for Kaufman. Kaufman then lost the handle of it. It rolled up the floor and into the hands of Wes Corbin. Corbin's pass then deflected and stolen by Kaufman. Moves in, and a great move to get by Andrew Hunter and laid it in. And a timeout will be used by Jason Vermillion and the Red Devils.
Well, we knew he had to get the ball in the open court to kind of show his wares a little bit. But Dylan Kaufman has shown us the last 3 possessions, some of the things he can do at the offensive end of the court.
21-16 Hiland, back after this timeout on the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
The Ohio High School Athletic Association is a voluntary, nonprofit association of more than 830 public and private high schools and approximately 850 7th and 8th grade schools.
Member schools vote on rules and regulations pertaining to eligibility, scholarship, and many other issues.
Sometimes we have to make tough decisions to enforce the rules, but that's just part of all the things the OHSAA does to make sure Ohio school sports are fair, safe, and fun for everyone.
Taco Bell is a proud partner of the OHSAA. You're out, you're hungry, you're doing the 4th meal. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. 3:38 to play here in the first half, and Dave, an 11-0 run right now over the last 2.5 minutes by Hiland.
Well, we knew that's the kind of team they are. They get in the open court. If you don't get back, you try to stop the ball. But the size factor, I think, is a big issue right now for Hiland. They can get themselves closer to the basket right now, and if you got a player like Dylan Kaufman, he can find a way to score.
I always wonder when a team such as Arlington played well in the first quarter, completely changed up what they were doing to start the second quarter offensively, and now I feel like they're out of rhythm a little bit.
Well, you know, rhythm and tempo of a game is just as important in basketball as it is any other sport, and right now they've lost it a little bit.
Jake Leonard on a head fake, gets to the basket, got it in and got fouled. Strong drive by Jake Leonard, and that's more again what they were doing in the first quarter, kind of driving to the basket.
Well, he's known for his outside shooting. That time I think he caught Hiland off guard a little bit, gave him a little ball fake, little head fake, and got himself closer to the basket.
Seeger Bonifit collected the foul, and Leonard will miss fire on the free throw, so does not complete the three-point play, but does slow down the Hawks' run. And it's 28-18 now in favor of Hiland with the basketball. Miller goes low on the right for Seeger Bonifit. Steps out and knocks it down. This guy's having a nice first half of play.
Well, he's a rhythm type of a player offensively. You got to try to keep him off balance. That time he kind of created some space, backed himself out, got that 15-footer to drop for him.
He'll be on his way to Wheeling and play at West Liberty, and he'll love their offense. They score 90 to 100 points every night out. Here's a little runner on the baseline by Andrew Hunter, and it's good and a foul.
Well, there's the 5'8" sophomore doing what he does best. He produces about 8 points a game, and right now that's a big basket for Arlington, trying to keep themselves right in touch here with the Hiland Hawks.
Andrew Hunter, free throw rattled off, rebound lost, but last touch by Arlington out of bounds. So they've left a couple of points out there on potential three-point plays, have the Red Devils, but they're back to within 3 now at 23-20. 2:45 to play in the second quarter. Kaufman up the floor to chase Gerber. Inside low on the left. Gingrich gets to the basket, but missed an easy layup as he just left it short on the glass. And Thane Recker will come down with the Arlington rebound. Andrew Hunter out on top. He's got 9 first half points. Hunter in the left wing. Bounces it to Recker, but a good defensive play by Jason Miller. He's got a steal. Ahead to chase Gerber. Bounces it on the left side at a foul as Dylan Kaufman was bounced to the floor pretty hard. And it'll end up being on Jake Leonard, and that is his second foul. So that will get Wes Corbin up off the bench. They've only got 3 team fouls, but 2 on Leonard.
Right, and that's always a concern. But again, defensively, you got to get back. If you're Arlington, just try to put some brakes on this transition of Hiland.
And a great pass from Gingrich on the inbounds play to Miller, and an easy layup for Jason Miller. But we have seen inbounds plays be very effective right there. That was just miscommunication, I think, defensively on Arlington. Corbin in the right side, and a poked and a foul. Ooh, that's a foul on Kaufman that he'd like to have back, I think. And this will get Todd Ropp back into the lineup for Hiland. And he will replace Jason Miller. That foul, by the way, on Kaufman, just his first. And for Hiland, that is 6 team fouls now. Recker will hit Corbin, drives the right baseline, got to the basket. 2 Hawks were waiting for him. They blocked the shot. Then a held ball, and the arrow will give it to Hiland. You give credit to Corbin for driving in there, but boy, there's some folks waiting on him when he got there.
Well, we talked about the shot blocking ability of number 55, Neil Gingrich. He can really get up in the air, but he's got great timing as well. You know, you got to take your chances. So if you get baseline drives, if you're Arlington, continue to just take it hard at the basket.
Gerber low on the left, another solid move. This shot was blocked by Corbin of Gingrich that time. Corbin came out of nowhere. Thane Recker into the right wing on the drive into the lane. Skids to a stop, double teamed. Outside to Corbin, fumbled it around. Now to Freed along the baseline to Blunk. He didn't catch it cleanly. An outlet pass to Kaufman. He wasn't even looking for it. Right into the hands of Corbin. Inside to Freed. Gerber tries to tie him up. They get it back out on top to Corbin and now to Hunter. And they'll finally slow things down a little bit. Coach Vermillion again says spread the floor. Out on top, it'll be Corbin handing it off to Freed. Now back to Hunter. Hunter, top of the key, foul line into the lane, scoops it up, a little strong. Rebound tipped by Bonifit, and then just kind of a loose ball foul is going to be called here against Jordan Freed, number 4 against Arlington.
Well, their last 4 or 5 possessions haven't been the most prettiest basketball we've seen yet today, but that's what happens in games like this. You start just struggling, just trying to find a way to make outlet passes, and nothing good is happening.
25-20, Hiland with the lead, under a minute to play here in the second quarter. Jackson Center head coach Scott Elkert, whose Tigers were victorious in the first game this morning, will join us at halftime. Out on top, Kaufman. Left side, Gingrich in the wing. 40 to play, first half. Gerber back over to Kaufman. Out on top for Bonifit. Bonifant will back up the dribble towards the OSU center circle logo. Half a minute to play in the second quarter. Kaufman now will just dribble it out on top with Wes Corbin staring him right in the eye. Kaufman with 20, goes left, comes back to his right, keeps the bounce alive. Corbin's still right there in front of him. 12 seconds, 11. Now Kaufman with 10. Looking left, now there's 8. Bounces it to Bonifant in the left wing with 5. Bonifant looking to drive, step back 3 in front of Reckers. No good offensive rebound, put back no by Gingrich. Rebound for Arlington, and that will close out our first half. A big second quarter by Hiland as they outscore the Red Devils 15-6, and they've got a 25-20 halftime lead over Arlington. We'll pause for messages from our local stations. We'll be back with head coach Scott Elkert of Jackson Center right after this timeout on the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
Proud to stand on our own, proud to be homegrown, a familiar face and a name you know. Come on, we know you, we know your needs, we know what being a neighbor means. Can you hear it? Fueling the American spirit. No matter when, no matter where, Marathon will take you there.
Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You remember that ball game we went to a couple years ago?
Sure.
And how you didn't have enough cash for 2 hot dogs, so you walked with me on your shoulders until we found an ATM? And then when we got back to our seats, we never saw the hot dog guy again.
Well, I don't remember all that.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever. So take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I'm Professor Burke from the University of Farmers, where we whittle agents' intellects into pointy, sharp utensils. And this is a pop quiz. What is the best way to save on insurance if you own a car and a house? Should you A, sit down with a farmer's agent to combine your policies into a delightful savings sandwich, or B, keep separate policies? The answer, A, talk to us and pass the mail.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Call a farmer's agent to see how you can save on auto and home insurance. Find your local agent at farmers.com.
Halftime score from Value City Arena in our second Division 4 state semifinal right now is the Hiland Hawks 25 and the Arlington Red Devils 20. Earlier today, the number 1 team in the state, Jackson Center, improved to 27-0. They were down 15 in the first half, but hit some key shots late in the game and defeated Afrocentric 53-50. And joining us now is Coach Scott Elkert of the Tigers of Jackson Center. Coach, congratulations. Tell us how you got from being 15 down in the second quarter to eventually winning the ball game here today.
I appreciate you having us on, but one thing we kept talking about was that we had to stick with our game plan. We knew if they continued to shoot the ball as well as they did in the first quarter, we were going to have trouble. But we didn't feel like we were in a position where we could go out and get too tight to them, and then we were going to play right into their penetration game. So we just tried to stay within our defensive game plan. And we really emphasized at halftime to do a better job on the defensive boards. On our account, we had given up 5 in the first half, resulted in 10 points. So we felt that if we could neutralize that, start making a few shots and just chipping away at it, that we could put ourselves in a position come the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, and it worked out.
Was there anything, Coach, during the course of the game? I know you had concerns going into the game with what you were facing, but was there any adjustments that you had to make, either matchup-wise in your man-to-man defense or anything offensively you made changes with?
Well, a couple of things, and one I alluded to, we were hoping that they didn't shoot the ball that well, and so we had to choose whether or not to try to adjust, and we didn't. So that, I guess in a way that's kind of an adjustment that we chose not to. The other adjustment we had to go to late is we had to put our best defender, Andy Hoying, over on Smith because he was doing the damage. And so we, I told my assistants at this stage of the game, it's time we got to get Andy over him, especially once we got it narrowed down and they were really pounding it into him. And so Andy answered the call once again.
What's this run been like for your basketball team?
Well, it's been great. I mean, it's been if you notice the shirts, we have truly taken each game one step at a time, and our prep work has been equal in terms of how we prepare for every opponent, and I think that's enabled our kids just to get locked into the moment and not have to worry about looking ahead to any certain game. So we're going to have to do that again for Saturday.
Andy Hoying, you kind of know what you're going to get out of him on a game-to-game basis. You get Alex Meyer steps up, has a terrific game. Freshman Gavin Wildermuth had to play big minutes for you today, 21 off the bench with an injury to Troy Opperman, and then all he does is score 7 points, catch a rebound, hit a big three, and make 2 of the biggest free throws maybe in school history today.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt his minutes were solid and all of his plays were big. The three that he hit was big. You know, it cut into that lead. Like you said, he gets a rebound, and of course the free throws to step up there and hit those things is just stuff that you dream about when you're a little kid out in the driveway.
Coach, as you think forward a little bit, I know you watched the first half of this basketball game here. Is there a particular team in terms of matchups you feel a little more comfortable with at this point?
Probably not. We know what Hiland has. I mean, obviously they're defending state champs with two players that are going to go play big time basketball. And we actually played Arlington at our Findlay team camp this year, and I believe Arlington beat us by 4 or 6 in that particular game. Now it's the game in the summer and all those types of things, but needless to say, we know they're a good quality team as well. So it's going to be a matter of having to be ready to play come Saturday.
What about just for your area coming back into here? If Arlington were to go on and win this, 2 teams from relatively the same area in West Central Ohio.
Yeah, I think that would be, that would be cool for the fans and all those type of things. We know Arlington well, they know us well, mainly from just our team camp. We're always up at Findlay at the same team camp. So our kids know each other, but like I said, we'll play whoever we need to.
And big for Shelby County, and boy, big for Jackson. I think they were all here today. I know your principal told me beforehand, sold the biggest pre-sale of any of the Division IV schools. I'm sure it'll be even bigger on Saturday.
Yep, they're super. They've been behind us all year.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Thanks for being with us here at halftime, and good luck on Saturday morning.
Thanks, guys.
That's head coach Scott Elkert, head coach of Jackson Center, as they were victorious today over Afrocentric 53-50. Right now our halftime score in our second game is Hiland 25 and Arlington 20. Dave and I will be back to Bayou City Arena, and we'll take a look at all of the first half numbers between the Hawks and the Red Devils. After this timeout, you're listening to the OHSAA Radio Network, fueled by Chocolate Milk.
The Ohio High School Athletic Association is committed to developing well-rounded student athletes.
To support our continued education, the OHSAA and its foundation award more than 50 scholarships annually, totaling over $50,000 to graduating student athletes.
In addition, the OHSAA Foundation hosts leadership conferences around the state, where student athletes participate in sessions on group dynamics, role modeling, positive sporting conduct, and much more.
So don't sit on the sideline. Get involved.
Sports fans, did you know that low-fat chocolate milk is the perfect way to fuel up for any kind of fun and games? Chocolate milk is the official beverage of the Ohio High School Athletic Association because eating healthy foods like low-fat chocolate milk and staying active will help you feel your best and keep you at the top of your game. Be sure to fuel up with chocolate milk because it tastes great and provides the same 9 essential nutrients found in white milk. Visit drink-milk.com to get facts on chocolate milk.
You're listening to the state basketball tournament on the Ohio High School Athletic Association Radio Network.
25-20 in favor of the Hiland Hawks here at halftime. Todd Bell and Dave Sakuti with you here. And well, let's take a look at the first half numbers. And Dave, anything on the stat sheet that really jumps out at you here? I guess we got 50% shooting. Hiland 34 for Arlington. That wasn't a problem in the first quarter, but boy, Hiland, again, I just didn't like the approach by Arlington in the second quarter of things offensively.
Well, I think one thing was Neil Grinder's number 55 for Hiland. He's really made some adjustments this game. He's got 4 blocks at the defensive end. That really throws your offense off kilter a little bit because you know he's in there. He's got good timing. He can block some shots, but you still got to get better shot opportunities right now if you're Arlington, and maybe a few more than anything else. I know they took 23 shots from the field, but I think they probably turned down some in their tempo offense a little bit. They should have got some more opportunities.
Points in the paint right now, Hiland with a 16-12 advantage. I think one area that's interesting, these two teams, Dave, combined for 20 turnovers a game. We had 15 combined in the first half alone, and it's really, we're not seeing any press or anything. I mean, these are just a lot of bad turnovers, I think.
Exactly, and if you're the coaches for these two teams, you're trying to figure it out. Guys, what's going on here? We haven't done this all year, and then you realize you're in a state semifinal game, and that's what you got to try to figure out.
All right, we're going to take one final break for our local stations. Back with second half action from Value City Arena after this. It is Hiland on top of Arlington, 25-20 on the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
Bill Hoskett, Ohio State basketball All-American, NBA champion, and Olympic gold medalist on achievement.
It was an honor to play the game of basketball at the highest level in college, the pros, and in the Olympics. But for me, it all started as a member of my high school team, where I learned the values of discipline, responsibility, and teamwork. The life lessons that interscholastic athletics teaches kids remains with them long after their playing days are over. Together, let's respect the game and ensure school sports build the foundation for a lifetime of success.
A message from the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Hey, Billy, want to go to the state fair?
Yeah!
Well, you can't. Well, you see, Billy, when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have done with it. But now your parents are becoming energy efficient. They could save hundreds of dollars a year and take you to the fair next year.
I want to go now.
I know you do. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
This broadcast is a presentation of the Ohio High School Athletic Association Radio Network. Any commercial use, retransmission, or distribution without the express written consent of the OHSAA is strictly prohibited. The announcers on this game selected by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. For more information, log on to the OHSAA Radio Network at ohsaa.org.
Thane Recker, we talked about him in the opener in terms of being the key player for this Arlington team. He's gotten several shots, but he probably hasn't gotten enough here, partner. He's got 6 points. He's averaging close to 17, about 9 rebounds a game. I look for them to kind of focus in a little bit on Thane Recker here offensively.
And again, Hiland a 15-6 second quarter. They have a 25-20 lead as we start quarter number 3, and a turnover to start the third as a pass went right through the hands of Corbin. Went off of his chest and out of bounds, and the officials giving it to Arlington. I don't know what he could have seen to miss that call, but Arlington will keep possession of the basketball. Corbin gives it over on the left side for Hunter on the drive, a little teardrop and in. And two maybe gimme points there for Arlington, because I'm sorry, that ball should not have gone to Arlington.
Well, we're going to have to get past that play, because that was a nice little move there by Andrew Hunter. We talked about the penetration, the ability to get to the basket. That's Arlington's force that they've tried to do all season long. I see them continue to try to do this.
Sophomores really stepped up big today. He's in double figures now with 11, Andrew Hunter. Makes it a 3-point game as we are 30 seconds into our third quarter of play. Jason Miller hands to Dylan Kaufman. Kaufman into the right wing, comes out on top for Gingrich. Gingrich left side for Miller. Top side for Kaufman. Got by the defender. A little 15-footer on the right side is no good. And Thane Recker will grab the rebound. That is his 6th of the day. Back the other way, Hunter. Turns and hands it off to Leonard. Leonard down in the left-hand corner. Looks to back in a little bit. And it poked away. Got it back. Now they will work it around out on top for Corbin. And then back over into Hunter. Hunter on the drive, a little teardrop floater is no good. Bonifant tips the rebound a couple of times and finally comes out of there with it for Hiland. Played a minute and 10 of our third quarter, and it's Hiland on top, 25-22. Kaufman down to the left-hand side for Gingrich. Down on the baseline, now brings it back out into the wing. Top side, Gerber to Miller. Down to the right-hand corner, Kaufman. Quick move to the baseline, a little up and under now. Flipped it up, no. Recker steps in front and grabs a rebound.
Well, good effort there by... And there's a good pass again. Transition. Boy, they get some good looks right now here.
And Wes Corbin finishes on the other end to make it a 1-point game.
You know, and that's what you have to do if you're Arlington right now. You got some mismatches because of your speed and your size on the perimeter. Take advantage of it. Transition or in the half court.
And neither team really active in transition in the first half, but an early one right there on the pass down the floor. 6:10 to play third quarter. Bonifant, baseline, looking to back in, and we've got a foul here on a little hold on Bonifant. He gives that little shoulder fake, and the next thing you know, he's stepping, he's gone.
Yep, and he's got a little isolation move there. That's almost a set play. They went to him right there on the block, and as you mentioned there, he's got some quick moves to the basket, create space, and get himself a good look.
And a big third foul on Jake Leonard right there. Leonard only 2 points, but he's a guy that gives him a little size at the guard position, and if they have an advantage in the size, it's at the guards. Here's Gingrich at the foul line out of the inbounds play. Bonifant right of the lane at the foul line. Left-hand dribble into the paint. Shot up over top of Corbin is good. And Corbin's only 5'11", and Leonard looks even bigger than 6'1", and Bonifant took advantage of it.
Just another good isolation. This time they switched sides of the floor. Got him the ball again, one-on-one. He's going to have the advantage.
Hunter to Corbin. Back out on top now for Recker. Down to the right side, Inninger penetrates top of the key. Coming right side for Recker. Down to the right baseline. Just kind of forced his way inside and laid it in. Thane Recker.
When you got a body like that and the ability to put the ball on the floor, that's all you need to do is find a little space and then occupy it with the big body.
Now Recker's going to be guarding Bonifant. Back the other way. Blunks into the game defensively. A shot by Gingrich is no good. Rebound tipped high into the air by Kaufman. Ended up into the hands of Gingrich, who laid it in. And Hiland's coach Mark Schleybaugh will use a quick 30-second timeout.
Well, that's just good size, using advantage of that. No foul. You just athletically, you're a little taller. You just jump over somebody. You grab the ball and you make sure you get it back into the basket.
Fans, you can find a knowledgeable local farmer's agent at farmers.com. We are insurance. We are farmers. Division III semifinals will come later today here on the OHSA Radio Network. Number 7, St. Peter Chanel. The Firebirds will take on Summit Country Day out of Cincinnati. They're number 3 and 24-1. And then the Titans of Ottawa Glandorf tonight at 8:30, 19-6, will take on Portsmouth. They are the 6th-ranked team in the state of Division III. They're 23-2. And that game will take place at 8:30 tonight right here at Value City Arena and on the OHSA Radio Networks. Divisions 2 and 1 tomorrow. You're back here tomorrow, is that right?
That is right.
They invited you back.
Yep. Tomorrow night I get a chance to do the Division I semifinals.
All right.
So I hope you listen in wherever you are.
I might be here holding signs up behind your head. We'll see. Thane Recker out on top for Arlington. They trail 29-26. 3 minutes gone by, third quarter. Recker out on top, backing into the foul line. Just trying to will his way towards the hoop, but slowed down. Now Corbin picks up a loose ball, flips a lefty up off the window, no good. The rebound will come off for Hiland, and Todd Ropp, who's back in there, will grab the board for the Hawks. Up the floor now, Jason Miller. One of 3 Millers on this Hiland team. 2 are related. Out on top they go Gingrich, little high-low action, and an over-the-back foul is going to be called on Bonifant, who's yelling at his teammate, why would you throw me the ball? He didn't even look at him, and he was out of position.
Well, that was a set play coming out of that break. Pretty good look in terms of what they wanted to do, but you're going to have to make a better pass there to make sure that play is going to work.
And Gingrich, assuming that was going to be open, just fired it down there, and Thane Recker had great defense. And they get the foul called against Hiland, the second against Seeger Bonifant. Out on top for Arlington, it is Corbin, inside Recker, double teamed, back outside Corbin, a 3 ball is off the mark. Blunk with an offensive rebound, puts it on the floor, muscles his way to the basket. It's sent back at him by Gingrich, and then Corbin's going to get fouled after grabbing an Arlington offensive rebound.
Well, anytime you have a shot blocker at the defensive end, he's going to cause problems for you offensively. But you got to finish plays too. You might see the block go, but if you're the teammates, you got to come up with a loose ball. That time they weren't able to do that.
Chase Gerber back for Hiland. Dylan Kaufman will sit down, so they get a little smaller. Arlington's got Jordan Freed into the lineup, and he'll replace Adam Inninger. 4:16 to play here in the third quarter. It's a 3-point Hiland lead, Arlington basketball. Andrew Hunter out of the right front court. Keeps the dribble alive to the top of the key. Backing in on Gerber. Now hands to Freed. 3-man game going on out top here. Now they'll bounce it back door to Corbin. He'll move in. Shot blocked again by Gingrich. Offensive rebound Blunk. Turns, fires to Hunter in the right wing. Under 4 to play here in the third. Gingrich has blocked a 3-point shot by Hunter and then grabbed the rebound. Outlet will go to Jason Miller, and Gingrich right now is dominating that end of the floor defensively.
Well, against a shot blocker, you have to take it into his body. You know, he's got good length and good timing. You got to take shots into his body. You can't let him have any gaps or space.
Gerber got to the basket, has shot blocked from behind, but then Gingrich on the offensive glass will score. And it's now 31-26 Hiland with 3:26 to play in the third quarter, and Gingrich now in double figures with 10. Out on top, it's Thane Recker. I mean, he could have a double-double today. He could have a triple-double. We'll talk about it in a moment. Here's Recker inside. Leans a little up and under. Way off the mark. Blunk, though, with an offensive rebound and a good little throwback into Hunter all the way out of the front court. That had some zip on it. Here's Hunter into the left side. Working on Recker down low. They missed him the initial post up. Now they'll come back out on top to Freed. Freed to the right baseline. Stops. Bounces it to Recker. Backing in against Bonifit. Got him up off their feet. Didn't draw a foul. Blunk grabs a loose rebound. Got it up on the window. And a foul will be called on Gingrich. It's not for the faint of heart. Under the rim right now.
Well, both teams trying to find ways to score. When you're going against the Hiland Hawks, you know the big number 55 is going to be there to try to swat things away. That time he got called for the foul, but boy, defensively he's been a stalwart down there. He's really changed the complexion of the game.
10 points, 9 rebounds, 7 blocks. So there's that chance at a triple-double here in a state semifinal as Blunt goes to the line, but will miss the front end of 2. Kaufman will replace Ropp for Hiland. It remains a 5-point game, 31-26 with 2:45 to play in the third. And back to the line, sophomore Michael Blunt. Off the bench, averages just over 5 and just under 5 rebounds. Makes that free throw to give him 4 on the day, and it's 31-27, Hiland with the basketball. And Dylan Kaufman, 8 points in the game, all coming in the second quarter. Will walk it across midcourt. Pass will come into the left side for Miller. Jason Miller dribbling to the top of the key, slowed down by Freed. Now hits Gerber, hands to Kaufman, right side of the floor, circles his way, flips with a left hand, low on the left, and somehow that went in. Dylan Kaufman to double figures.
Not exactly how you teach that type of move. Shoot off the wrong foot with the other hand, but he got it to go.
Out on top, Hunter, a little backdoor to Freed. Tried to get it inside to Blunk. Tipped out of bounds by Hiland. 2:10 to play third quarter. It stays with Arlington, trailing by 6 points.
Well, this is a little danger zone right now for Arlington. You got this 6-point deficit right now. You got to make sure offensively right now, get a good look at the basket, try to execute. If it's got to go through Recker, let's do it. If not, look for your perimeter shots as well.
Hunter to the foul line on a drive. Forced a shot up off the glass. No, and a big rebound for Jason Miller. Miller now will push it up the floor. Bonifit running 3 right wing off the back of the rim. Offensive rebound, Gingrich low on the right. Back out on top now for Bonifit. Swing it down to the low on the left. This is Miller on a drive. He got bumped and has free throws coming as Jordan Freed bumped him on the shot.
Well, as good as a defensive team Arlington is, when you let the ball get reversed from side to side, you're going to get out of position defensively. That time, Hiland took advantage of a little situation there and got called for the foul. An opportunity here for 2 free throws.
Jason Miller, an 82% free throw shooter, has 2 points on the day on a field goal in the second quarter. First time to the line today, and it falls off the left side of the rim. They are a 71% free throw shooting team on the year. We'll try and split the pair. Free throw on the way and good. Jason Miller now with 3, and the lead has grown to its largest of the day for Hiland of 7 points. Out across the midcourt stripe, Andrew Hunter gives to Thane Recker right wing to Corbin out on top. Back over to Hunter in the left wing. Man-to-man by the Hawks. Now it's Freed, and he got fouled. That'll be the second on Dylan Kaufman.
Well, offensively, Arlington went with their quick look right there, and that's, again, quick passes, quick cuts. Kind of caught the Hiland Hawks a little off guard there.
Kaufman will check out. Ropp will check back in. Kaufman now 2 fouls, 14 fouls on Hiland. 1:35 to play third quarter. This was Arlington on top 16-10, but it's been all Hiland ever since. They led 25-20 at the break. Freed on a drive, altered or maybe deflected by Gingrich. Rebound will come off for Chase Gerber. Up the floor now, it is Miller. Miller now will have it out at the center circle. Coming off of a screen, coming left, down the left side of the lane. Nobody slowed him down, but he missed the layup, and Blunt will turn around and grab the rebound. Now Wes Corbin will push it up the floor for Arlington. They trail 34-27. 1 minute exactly to play in the third. Out on top, Hunter moves it into the right wing. Again, they will just pull out Hiland here defensively. Recker, Corbin, and Hunter all out near the midcourt stripe. Now Hunter on a drive into the corner. A 3 by Freed. Barely got to the rim. And the rebound for Bonifit. 38 seconds to play in the third quarter. Now Hiland can hold for the last shot as they've got a 7-point lead.
That'd probably be the smart thing to do right now and not get called for any kind of silly fouls. Just handle the ball, get a good look with about 6 or 7 seconds and the opportunity for an offensive rebound as well.
Boy, Andrew Hunter right now trying everything he can to come up with a steal. He's out there playing without a foul, so gambling a little bit. Clock winding down with 13 seconds. Jason Miller out at midcourt, guarded there by Freed. He'll go right. Now slows it down, goes back to his right again, hands to Chase Gerber, got by Hunter, foul line runner on the way. It's off the mark, Blunk the rebound with 3, outlet to Corbin from 75 feet, it's off the mark, and that'll end our third quarter. 8 minutes to go in the game, one more quarter from Value City Arena. It's Hiland 34, Arlington 27. We'll break for these messages of our local stations here on the OHSA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Ohio's March Madness is right around the corner, and you can be a part of the excitement. This is Randy Reinhardt from the Ohio High School Athletic Association Radio Network, inviting you to Value City Arena in Columbus for the OHSAA Girls and Boys Basketball State Tournaments. The Girls State Tournament is March 15th through 17th, while the Boys State Tournament is March 22nd through 24th. Plenty of tickets are now available at Ticketmaster.com or by calling 1-800-745-3000. It's high school basketball's biggest stage. Get your tickets today to be a part of history.
Fourth quarter underway here at Value City Arena. Hiland trying to make it back-to-back in D4. They have a 7-point lead. Jason Miller, shot in the lane, no good. Another offensive rebound by Gingrich. Now they swing it around to Kaufman in the left wing. Drives, he lost it on the way up. And the ball will end up into the hands of Leonard for Arlington. To Corbin, drives into the lane, and a blocking foul will be called against Gingrich. That'll be his third, and free throws coming up now for Arlington.
See, I like that if you're Arlington right now, pushing the ball. Right now you're having a tough time in your half-court offensive set because of Gingrich, his ability to block shots, and their defense is very, very solid. But if you can get opportunities and beat them down the floor in the transition, you got to take advantage of it right now if you're the Arlington Red Devils.
Wes Corbin will go to the line here for a pair. He took a pretty good spill after that collision with Gingrich. And Thane Recker, among a lot of things he does, wiping up the perspiration under the basket, allowing Corbin an opportunity to gather himself and head to the line. They need just about everything they can get right now, down by 7. Kind of haven't really been in an offensive rhythm since the end of the first quarter of this game. And the size of Hiland has given them all sorts of fits as Corbin will hit the back rim with the first free throw.
You know, and you got to take advantage of this. And I guess I always talk about free throw shooting, but Arlington is only shooting 65% on the year. And if you're a good shooting team and you're 23-3, I think you got to shoot. I'm sure that's probably one of the little components that Coach Vermillion is probably a little more disappointed about than anything else. But they got a chance here down the stretch. If you make them, you never know.
Second free throw is good. They're now 5 out of 10 on the day from the line. Winner will play Jackson Center Saturday morning at 10:30 in a D4 final. Jackson Center unbeaten and #1 in the state. And a turnover. Kaufman, as Wes Corbin went into the air, just snatched it. And now he'll flip it up the floor to Thane Recker. They're down by 6. Recker all the way to the baseline. Got to the basket. Scooped it with a left hand. It went in and he was fouled.
Wow.
I don't know how he got it up on the glass and it managed to go in.
Well, all day he's been kind of bullying himself down to the baseline. This time he pulled a little trick out of his bag and came back on the other side of the rim. And he's going to try for that old-fashioned three-point play.
And Recker will go to the line. Now in double figures with 10 to go along with 7 rebounds, but he misses the free throw. That's the third opportunity for a three-point play today that they've missed the free throw. But they're only down by 4 at 34-30. Kaufman, left wing, picks up the dribble after one bounce. Now hands it to Seeger Bonifant on top to Jason Miller in the right wing. Miller Now we'll hit Kaufman, sliding down the right side of the lane, off the mark with the shot. Gerber lost the rebound, and it will go over to Arlington, and the Red Devils will have the basketball with 6:46 to play in the game. And we'll see a little press here by Hiland.
Well, I think Hiland, let's give Arlington some credit. They're trying to get that tempo, that rhythm back that we talked about, but Hiland's doing everything possible here with the big fella in the back line, but trying to put a little pressure on, see if they can disturb that rhythm that Arlington's trying to get back into this game, the fourth quarter.
Recker will have it out between the circles, stops at the top of the key, hands it off to Andrew Hunter. Sophomore having a big day, around a screen, hands it off now to Blaze McBride, who's back out there for Arlington. Now it's back to Hunter, to Corbin in the left wing. Corbin crossing over, trying to get to the baseline, slowed down by Miller. Turns, hands it off to Recker, fumbled it around, then got it back. Now he's dribbling right out in front of Coach Vermillion. And we'll bring it out on top, and they'll start again with Hunter. And a timeout, no, a stoppage of play, and an untied shoe by Chase Gerber. So they'll allow him the opportunity to tie it up, and it'll be Arlington to inbound the ball with 6:03 to play in the game. Leading scorers right now, you've got 11 for Andrew Hunter, 10 for Thane Recker for Arlington. Dylan Kaufman and Neil Gingrich each with 10 right now for the Hawks. Leonard back into the ball game, hits Recker. Recker trying to back it against Gingrich on the baseline. Tough shot, little strong. Chase Gerber grabs the rebound, hands it off to Seger Bonifant, and they'll slow it down now to Miller in the backcourt. 5:45 to go in the game. 34-30 Hiland. They go to Bonifant low on the left. Turns to the basket, now backs his way, hands it off to Kaufman. Up along the three-point arc, top of the key, poked away by Leonard. And a timeout will be used here by Hiland. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Probably a good timeout right there. That was close to being a steal there from Arlington. This will give a chance right now for Hiland with a little less than 5 minutes, or over 5 minutes to go here, to try to regroup, figure out how they're going to win this game down the stretch.
Thought it was a 30. They turned it into a 60, so it'll be Hiland coming out of this with a basketball and a 34-30 lead. I'm not surprised at where the score is, Dave. We talked about these teams average in the mid-60s in terms of offense, but the defense is their primary concern, and they both allow 40 points, so where we are right now at 34-30, I'm not surprised.
Well, that's where you concentrate during your week of preparation, is defensively. What are you going to do individually and as a team defense to stop teams? That's where you put most of your effort. Offensively what you're going to have to do, but you're trying to figure a way to put the stops on particular players and then play that solid team defense, which both of these teams have done here this afternoon.
Hiland out of Holmes County, Arlington out of Hancock County. Both these teams about 90 miles from Columbus, so we're dead in the middle of them. Both brought great crowds. And we've got another one that looks like it could come right down to the wire. In our first game, Afrocentric had two really good looks at threes to try and tie it, and they fell to Jackson Center 53-50. Now it's Hiland with a 4-point lead in the basketball, 5.5 to go. Seger Bonifant down the left side of the lane, out on top for Neil Gingrich. Turns and hands it off to Miller out at the center circle. Now Miller will penetrate left, gives it off to Chase Gerber. Gerber down the left side of the three-point arc, back out on the wing to Bonifant. They swing it around to Kaufman to Miller. Miller out at the top of the key. Now goes low on the right for Gingrich, trying to back in against Recker. Back out on top they go with a pass to Gerber. Gerber down the left side of the lane. Dumps it inside to Kaufman. Short shot around the rim, no. Rebound, volleyballed around, and ends up into the hands of Gingrich on the right baseline. Kaufman will give it back to Gingrich in the wing, and out on top now to Miller.
Well, we talked about the passing ability of Hiland at the pregame talk, but if you look at them right now, that's what they're doing. They're making you pay right now. Good crisp passing, individual moves here by Kaufman.
And Kaufman gets down the lane and lays it in. Dylan Kaufman now with 12 and a big second chance bucket right there. And Dave, they took a minute off the clock.
And that's exactly what I'm sure Coach wanted to do in that possession right there. Make them pay, wear them out a little bit defensively.
Thane Recker out on top. Gingrich up at his grill. Will turn and hand it off to Hunter. Hunter standing on the center circle. Arlington can still be patient, but they got to get points on their possessions now. Down by 6 as we close in on the midway point of the fourth quarter. Leonard left for Corbin. Corbin low on the left now for Recker. Trying to back in. They double team him out to Corbin. 3-ball really hasn't been there today for Arlington. They get it back inside to Recker, double team. Left it short. Rebound for Hiland underneath. That was Chase Gerber. Miller gives it off to Gingrich. They fumble it around the backcourt, but Miller tracks it down. Up the floor now to Kaufman. Kaufman will take it left to the paint. Stops to Gingrich to the foul line. Now Bonifant will come back out on top for Miller and a well, Coach Hiland Hawk team, as they'll get back into their offense now.
Well, you can feel what's going to happen unless there's a move individually.
Kaufman dumps it low to Gingrich, lays it in, and it's an 8-point lead at 38-30, and Arlington has no choice but to call a full timeout. 3:30 to go here in the fourth quarter. Berlin Hiland trying to pull away here in the fourth quarter on the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
Hi, I'm Jerry Lucas. Everybody knows that high school sports give us excitement. They also give us leaders and role models, and they bring our communities together. Sometimes they give us heroes, other times they give us heartbreak. But they always give us an opportunity to learn, grow, and practice life skills. I know high school sports gave me a lot while growing up in Ohio, just as they do for today's young people. So shouldn't we give high school sports our full support?
3.5 minutes to go, fourth quarter. Hiland on top of Arlington, 38-30. Let's allow our stations a chance to identify themselves here on the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk. Todd Bell, Dave Sacuti, Ty Higgins. I'm undermanned here today. I got on my right, I got one on my left. I've got no shot. 3.5 to go, Division IV state semifinal, and right now the Hawks have taken over.
Well, speaking of shots, I think the one thing Arlington's got to be able to do, they're getting the ball inside to Rector. Their perimeter players have to relocate and get themselves available for that outside shot. Right now, Rector being double teamed, they're just not moving, and there's a set play on the inside.
And they get Thane Rector inside, and he lays it in for a much-needed basket.
Well, you needed to stop a little bit of something that was going on the floor right there, and Arlington got that basket. That's a big hoop there.
Dave, only 2 fouls right now against Arlington as we get down to 3:10 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Well, you got to be careful about that too, and you really, as a coach, you're not thinking about that right now, but another minute or two, you'll start looking up there thinking, wow, we're going to have to start fouling here to even get to the 1-on-1.
Miller forced a shot, missed it, but got his own rebound as it came right back to him in the paint, and he kicked it back out. Now Kaufman down the lane, left-handed layup is good. They've got no answer for Dylan Kaufman down the paint. 2:45 to go.
That's just a great individual move right there. Just a full head of steam, the balance and the coordination to get that one up off the glass.
Blunt out into the wing for Hunter. Now it's Recker driving down the left side of the lane. Stops, leans, got it up and in. Thane Recker trying to do everything he can to carry the Red Hawks.
But it's got to happen at the defensive end right now in front of us here. They got to make sure they get stops. When Arlington does, or excuse me, Hiland does get a shot, you got to come up with that rebound.
Bonifant against Recker on the right baseline. Nothing there, so it'll come back out on top for Miller. Now to Gerber, low on the left. Kaufman moving in against Leonard, and again, not much Leonard could do but commit his 4th foul. And it'll be Blunt to check out as Inninger is back into the lineup. And in fact, they're going to have the sub go back as it's going to be 2 free throws. He came in too soon. Can only sub in between the free throws as Dylan Kaufman will go to the line here for a pair.
Well, we talked about both these teams like to go inside. Rector, of course, for Arlington, and the other 2 big fellas there for Hiland. But if you look at the stats right now, you're looking at 54 of the 74 points have been in the paint. So it just tells you there's not a whole lot of opportunities on the perimeter. You might as well go ahead and try to make hay getting the ball inside.
Teams are combined as Kaufman will rattle home the first free throw. 2 of 13 from 3 today, and just 1 of 9 for Arlington, and they may need that here down the stretch.
Well, if you're Arlington right now, you got to hope you're going to get some good looks on the perimeter. Threes right now might be a little bit something in the package right now that you're going to have to rely upon.
And that's not their game anyways, just 29% on the year. A missed free throw. It's tipped out by Gingrich, and Kaufman's got it, and they'll reload. And Coach Vermillion over on the other side just put his hand down at his face and saying, well, The guys have got to execute at some point, and a missed block out and now a foul. And again, they've got to start committing fouls, as that's only the 4th one against Arlington with 1:55 to go.
And that's not bad what just happened right there. They got to continue. They may continue to do this no matter who you are on the perimeter right now. Take these fouls because it may get to the situation where you're really going to need to put them to the line.
And don't just commit a foul to commit it. Go ahead and gamble. Try and strip the basketball because you never know. You may end up with it in your hands. There's Hunter trying to reach in. Kaufman's got it out on top. 1:40 to go. They've got a 7-point lead. A near steal by Leonard. Good ball handling by Kaufman, but his pass down low to Miller went through his hands, and Arlington comes away with the basketball. Big possession here for the Red Devils. Hunter had it stripped away from behind by Kaufman. Gingrich up the floor now to Kaufman. He'll move in and got the basket and got fouled. A hard foul by Inninger, but Kaufman's too big and strong and was able to finish it off.
Well, Kaufman was trying to get back down the floor defensively, but they got the turnover down there, and he was almost at half court. Good release pass. Got himself a chance here to get to the free throw line for that 3-point play.
Kaufman at the line. Completes the 3-point play, and it is a 10-point Hiland advantage with now just 1:20 to go. Inninger out on top to Corbin. Corbin to Inninger, right baseline. They can't take too much time. They got to fire shots at the rim here. Inninger will try a 3 in the right wing. It's an air ball. Thaynerecker can't get to it, and it's out of bounds. It'll be Hiland basketball. And they'll have to pick up in full court press, but now there's just 64 seconds to go.
Well, you can see the frustration on Thaynerecker's face right now. He's trying to just do whatever he possibly can as one of the seniors on this team here to try to extend their season. They got a big challenge ahead of them here, less than a minute to go.
And Dylan Kaufman in a foul, as that'll be on Leonard, and that'll be his 5th. So a rough day today for senior Jake Leonard. He averages 11 and will foul out of the game with only 2 points on the afternoon. He did have 3 rebounds. And Leonard will get an ovation from the throng of Arlington Red Devil fans to our right, as he is fouled out of his last game for Arlington. Still just team foul number 6. So the Hawks will inbound one more time. Kaufman will trigger it all the way in the backcourt as Miller will take it. Had it poked away by Inninger, but he got it back. Still in the backcourt. Flips it up the floor now to Chase Gerber. Gerber takes it toward the baseline, double teamed, and that gets kicked over here.
Thanks, Ty. You know, I was wondering once something came over here who was going to duck, and we found out. Good job, partner.
Kaufman will inbound all the way in the backcourt. Should have seen me in baseball with foul balls coming back towards the press box. Man, I was under the table in a heartbeat. Kaufman down the lane, can finish it off with a layup right there. Dylan Kaufman was scoreless in the first quarter of this game. He's got 20 now on the day to the baseline. Freed can't get it to go. Loose, he picks it up. 20 seconds to go. Corbin, a 3 in the corner is good. Wes Corbin will hit the 3. Coach Vermillion will not call timeout. He will call off the Dogs. The Hiland Hawks, Division IV champions a season ago, will have a chance to go back-to-back as they will defeat the Arlington Red Devils today by the final score of 46-37.
46, Arlington 47.
In a lot of ways here, it was what we expected. It was a defensive battle for most of the game. But boy, when you think of the Hiland Hawks in terms of what they give you defensively, in terms of their pressure on the perimeter, but more importantly, their front line presence in terms of their shot blocking ability and the ability to rebound the ball, that was the key in the game.
They blocked 7 shots today, all by Neil Gingrich, but the others, just their presence inside, made a big difference in this game. Arlington finishes the year 23-4. Hiland at 26-1, the number 2 team in the state, will take on the number 1 Jackson Center Tigers, who are 27-0. Timeout coming here from Value City Arena. Dave and I'll be back to take a look at this one right after this timeout on the OHSA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
I'm Professor Burke from the University of Farmers, where even the chaff is wheat, and this is a pop quiz. True or false? Finding discounts means clipping coupons. False. By sitting down with a farmer's agent, you'll get access to discounts that could save you hundreds on home and auto insurance. If you said true, put down the scissors and start saving on more than just canned yams.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Call a farmer's agent to see how you can save on auto and home insurance. Find your local agent at farmers.com.
Hey, sports fans, did you know that low-fat chocolate milk is the perfect way to fuel up for any kind of fun and game? Chocolate milk is the official beverage of the Ohio High School Athletic Association because eating healthy foods like low-fat chocolate milk and staying active will help you feel your best and keep you at the top of your game. Be sure to fuel up with chocolate milk because it tastes great and provides the same 9 essential nutrients found in white milk. Visit drink-milk.com to get facts on chocolate milk.
This is Archie Griffin, and you're listening to the OHSAA Radio Network.
The Hiland Hawks defeat Arlington today 46-37. They used a big second quarter of 15-6 after trailing after one, and they won the remaining 2 quarters as well and pull away for the 46-37 victory. And now they will play in a state championship game for the 4th time. They had gotten to the tournament 8 previous times, but had only gotten to the title game 3. But now they'll play in their 4th and try and win it back-to-back. It's hard to win it once. It's not easy to win it 2 years in a row.
Well, you got a mark on your back. They've had it all year long coming out of that state championship a year ago. But, you know, give credit to the coaching staff. They've gotten this team back in it again on Saturday morning against Jackson Center. But, you know, they were tested. They had to play one of their better basketball games here this afternoon in order to move forward.
A lot of their games, when you look up and down their schedule, are relatively easy. They only had 2 games all year long that were decided by 5 points or less, and they had a loss late in the season. But you really kind of just appreciate the way that they played here today. They played under control throughout the day. Yeah, they had some maybe uncharacteristic turnovers, but I thought everybody played within themselves, did their roles, and then finally Dylan Kaufman really got it going. He had an 8-point spurt in the 3rd. He had a strong 4th quarter as well, and again, their size was just too much.
It was, and I think that's what you expect when you have a senior-laden team like the Hawks do. You look at the seniors and the performance they had and the production they've had all during the course of the year. But you mentioned there, partner, when you think of a player that can really get in there and do some damage, Dylan Kaufman, his acrobatic moves around the basket, finishing at the basket, and then just his overall leadership on the floor. That's why he's co-player of the year in this division.
And now he'll match up with the other co-player of the year on the other side for Jackson Center. That should be a great matchup on Saturday. And they'll probably guard each other, right?
Well, I would think so. I think the matchups, and again, when you think of matchups, that's what you get to this point in time, forget about the numbers, forget about the records. It's really about matchups and how you're going to match up against those particular players for 32 minutes. And that's the kind of the chess work that's going to go on here in the next 24, 48 hours.
And we're talking of Andy Hoying from Jackson Center. Another timeout. We'll pause for a message from our local stations. We'll come back, have the statistics for you right after this timeout on the OHSA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
College football's only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, Ohio State's Archie Griffin, on the value of high school sports.
I was determined to succeed on the football field, but it's the life lessons that athletics taught me that will last forever. That began in high school when I learned the importance of discipline, teamwork, sacrifice, and responsibility. Those values stay with student athletes long after their playing days are over. Remember, the Ohio High School Athletic Association and Interscholastic Athletics seek to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life. At that, we can all be winners.
A message from the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Hi, I'm former Major League Baseball All-Star Al Oliver. When I played, I tried to make it a simple game, like see the ball, hit the ball. But trust me, sports are not that simple. Try to remember that when you watch an interscholastic athletics contest where everyone is trying their best in a game they all love. So please be courteous and set an example that reflects positively on your school and community. Let's remember, too, respect the game.
Right now, nearly 30% of U.S. students aren't finishing high school. In many places, it's even higher than that. And fixing it is a responsibility that we all share. This is President Obama, and I urge everyone to take responsibility for encouraging the high school students in your communities, to support them, challenge them, and do whatever it takes to help them make it through.
Do your part by going to boostup.org and giving a student the boost that's needed to make it to graduation. A message from the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Hiland a winner today over Arlington, 46-37. Todd Bell, Dave Cicutti with you courtside at Value City Arena. Our state championship game on Saturday now is all set as Jackson Center will take on Hiland, who will be trying to win their second straight state championship game. And we get the final numbers presented in front of us. Dave, what do you see that jumps out at you?
Well, when you think about Hiland in terms of their overall statistics across the course of their season, and they're somewhat of a three-point shooting team, and let's give Arlington credit. They had to take something away. They only attempted 4 3-point shots in a 32-minute game. I think that's a key factor there. I know they won the game, but it's something they got to think about down the stretch here when they get ready for Saturday morning.
To follow up, Hiland averages 17 3-point attempts per game, so to only have 4 today. Definitely a lower number.
And I think that's, when you look at that, that's one thing. I guess the other thing is I thought, at least offensively, they handled the ball a lot better in the second half. They had a total of 11 turnovers. They only had 4 in the second half. A lot more efficient offensively. They got more people involved in their offense. That was a key, I think, for Hiland.
And Arlington today shot only 33%, 34 in the first, 31 in the second. They attempted 11 threes, so that means they took 34 shots. And a lot of those 34 two-point field goals, a lot of them were around the basket, which means that they only shot 33% with a lot of shots around the basket today.
Right, and I think the other thing that hurt Arlington a little bit, they had some opportunities at the defensive end to secure rebounds, and Hiland came up with some loose balls, some 50-50 situations. That just kills you, demoralizes you, number one, but it really hurts your possessions in terms of what you're trying to do.
The leading scorers today, Dylan Kaufman for Hiland, 20 points on the afternoon, played 29 minutes. Neil Gingrich finished with a double-double, 12 points, 13 rebounds, 7 block shots. He played all 32 minutes today. Seeger Bonifant was held to just 9. He averages 15, but Hiland scored 16 fewer points today than their season average, so somebody's average has to suffer a little bit, but it was Seeger Bonifant. He made some great plays early in this game and was effective inside today as well.
Yeah, and I think we've seen the type of player that Seeger Bonifant is. He can create for himself. He can make sure that he comes back, creates some space, gets his shot opportunities right in play. He's a good player. Give him credit. He's sacrificed a little bit today to make sure his basketball team moves on to the state final.
Thane Recker on the other side for Arlington, 14.7 rebounds, played all 32 minutes. Andrew Hunter, sophomore guard, played well. He had 11 points on the afternoon, playing in 30 minutes of action, but a disappointing end to the Arlington season. They were trying to have a dream scenario with the girls winning the state title a week ago, trying to follow it up this weekend, but Hiland gets the better of them today. All right, now your matchup on Saturday, Hiland and Jackson Center.
Well, I like the matchup, and I'm sure everybody in the building is going to like the matchup as well. There'll be a lot of energy in this building. I think both teams, size-wise, maybe a little difference here, but you got the 2 co-players of the year in Division IV. They're going to go head-to-head. We're going to find out, I guess, from a team standpoint what they're all about. And I'm sure both coaches are going to get the players settled down. They got an opportunity right now just to relax, enjoy this atmosphere. They may go back home here and get themselves ready with another practice and then come back tomorrow night. I'm not sure their travel plans and all that, but what a great opportunity for those 2 programs who have had outstanding seasons. And now, partner, they get an opportunity to play one more game.
Jackson Center will be going for its second state title, first since '85. And again, Hiland will be trying to go back-to-back. That'll be 10:30 on Saturday morning. Coming up for you later tonight, our next broadcast will begin at 5 o'clock, 5:15 tip-off, as the Firebirds of St. Peter's Chanel will take on Summit Country Day out of Cincinnati at 5:15. Ottawa Glandorf and Portsmouth will come your way at 8:30. Divisions 2 and Division 1 are tomorrow, same times, 10:45 to 5:15 and 8:30. For all of the matchup statistics, to continue listening on the OHSAA Radio Network, go to ohsaa.org. So, our state championship matchup set for Saturday morning, with Jackson Center beating Afrocentric this morning 53-50, and Hiland a winner here by the score of 46-37. For my broadcast partner Dave Cicutti, our producer today Ty Higgins, on behalf of our executive producer Tim Street, this is Todd Bell. Thanks for being with us today on the OHSAA Radio Network. Our preceding has been a presentation of the OHSAA Radio Network, fueled by chocolate milk.
Rocket Media Radio Network, Channel 01. 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 Rocket Media Radio